Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to another Toddy Walnuts thrift shop haul, I guess we'll call this one. And these are items I picked up at thrift shops over the past week or so. And these are from about 3 or 4 different trips. And it's starting to pile up, and I like to kind of show them and then put them away because I get a little antsy when things start piling up. So joining me as usual, we have the lovely Miss Hannah, and we have the little lovely Miss Heidi. And today in the great state of Wisconsin, it's a little bit overcast. The sky is pretty gray. Temperature dropped a little bit. I had to sleep with the windows closed last night. It got down into the 50s. But I do love this time of year. Fall is right in the air. The air is nice and crisp and cool at night. Halloween is right around the corner, and I'm going to show you guys some of the horror items that I picked up over the last week. So get yourself a beverage, a snack, kick your feet up, and let's see what I got. Alright, so this first little pile here is from a value village in my hometown here. I got a stack of DVDs from Goodwill. I got some VHS, a nice little box set there, and some single editions here. Nothing really rare this time, a lot of kind of common titles that I like to call common. But I'll show you guys that as I get to it, and I'm not going to pull from anything in particular. This is just random. And the first item here is a graphic audio. They're calling it A Movie in Your Mind, and this looks like it's a kind of a Western theme audio book. And the thing that kind of jumped out at me, this little box at the bottom right hand corner, it says rated mature content. It's 5 hours, 5 CDs, very good condition. I looked at all the CDs and they're all perfect, like they have never even been listened to. So whoever did have this was very careful with their items. There's disc 5. And it sounds like it's a kind of a bounty hunter named Six Killer who's going after a murderer. And there's also a short story on here. I guess it's pretty graphic. So I have not popped it in to check it out, but I'm wondering how graphic it could be really to make it mature. But it looks like here at one time it was $19.99. I think I got this for $1 or less, and this came out in 2013. So I thought that was a cool little pickup. Oh, I'm sorry, it was $3. There you go, right there, $3. But you know, I think I did buy this on a half off day, so I'm pretty sure it was $1.50, something like that. I also picked up a Clint Eastwood movie that I've seen this before a couple different times, but I don't think I've ever owned this on DVD. And this is one of his war movies. I'm more into his Western movies, but this is called Heartbreak Ridge. And in this movie, Eastwood plays a lifelong Marine who's about to retire. And it's kind of a love story / military movie. Mario Van Peebles is in this movie. He's kind of in this movie he was kind of a young punk. This one came out in 1986, so it's pretty old. So it comes in this old snapper case. You guys may remember these, but this thing is like brand new. Not a big fan of the snapper cases or the flipper discs either, for that matter. This is not a flipper disc, but it looks like it's a little dusty, but it's in good order. I thought I'd add that to the Clint Eastwood collection. It's a good movie. It's not one of his best, but at least to me. And I picked up Lost Season 2. This is the complete Season 2. I still have yet to see this show, and I know it's been out for a very long time. When these seasons first came out, they were like 30, 40, 50 bucks a pop. Now you can get them for $5 or less, and these are all on DVD, which is fine with me. I don't need to see this on Blu-ray. So that was the first little pile. That was Value Village stuff. So this next pile here, this is all Goodwill. These are all horror DVDs. And the first one is Night of the Demons. And last week I picked up part 2 on DVD. So I was very happy to find part 1. I have these on Blu-ray already, and this is Anchor Bay. But I wanted to grab them on DVD. I think I may have these on DVD as well, but I'm buying these so cheap it doesn't matter. And then here is the remake of Night of the Demons. It has Shannon Elizabeth and Edward Furlong in it. Don't remember if I've seen this one. I know it's been out for a while. I know for sure I've seen Night of the Demons, the original, which came out in the 80s, I believe. Let me take a peek. 1987 for the original. And for the remake, it looks like it may have been 2009. And then it was put on DVD in 2010. It looks pretty cool. I mean, these movies, you can't really take these serious. You know, they're tongue-in-cheek, kind of half comedy, half horror. These movies are just meant to be popcorn movies. You know, pop a batch of popcorn and feed your face and laugh and watch these movies, have a good time. This one I was pretty happy to get, even though it says Walmart. This was from a Goodwill, and it's still sealed, too. It's a four movie pack from Mill Creek, I believe. Echo Bridge. And you get 4 movies that I don't remember ever seeing. The first one up here is A Bothered Conscience. And then you get Butchered, unrated, Mother's Day Massacre, and Breadcrumbs. The Midnight Horror Collection, Backwoods Butchers. So I thought I would pick this up and add it to the collection. I love Backwoods slasher movies. They're really fun. Next one is another movie I'm not familiar with. It's called Hobbes End. It looks pretty cool on the cover. Guy standing there with a bloody chainsaw, bloody footprints, and kind of blood spatter up into the snowbank. And he crossed off one of the population from 667 to 666. So looks like it's very low budget, but there is some entertainment value to these low budget films. I always find some entertainment in these movies. I'm not sure what to expect for this movie or what I'm getting into, but I thought I'd add it. It's cheap enough to just grab it and add it to the collection. Another one here that kind of caught my attention from the cover. It's a whale watching massacre called Harpoon, and it has Gunnar Hansen, who was the original Leatherface. And this is the unrated version of it. I can't remember ever seeing other than Orca from back in the late 70s. I can't remember ever seeing another killer whale movie, if that's what this is. It says when a bloody freak accident takes out their captain, a boatload of international tourists on a whale watching expedition fight for their lives while stranded in the middle of the ocean. Help seems to arrive from a nearby whaler who offers to take them back to shore, but instead he strands them on a rusty, terrifying barge of death with his insane family, who are determined to hunt down and kill the trespassers one by one. Featuring an appearance by horror legend Gunnar Hansen, this shocking blood-spattered trip on the high seas unleashes a night terror on only a lucky few will survive. So it looks pretty cool. You know, that premise, that little synopsis of the movie sounds pretty good. Looking forward to checking it out. It's a movie from 2009. And I like how they have Gunnar Hansen's name at the headline there at the top, but on the back it makes sure to tell you that it's only an appearance. So he's not going to be in the movie very long, or at least it sounds that way. featuring an appearance by horror legend Gunnar Hansen. I think I already popped that open. Looks like it was a former rental, but I can't. Family Video. So that is Harpoon. The next one is called Zombie Diaries 2. I think I have Zombie Diaries 1 on Blu-ray. And I don't recall if I ever did pick up part 2. I may have this on Blu-ray as well. I have so many movies. I have thousands of movies, literally thousands of movies. And sometimes I buy doubles, it happens. But this is a film from 2011. And there, of course, there has been a zombie craze, and it's a genre that's been oversaturated for over a decade now. Everybody and their mother made a zombie movie by now, and the trend is still going. I used to really love zombie movies. They were one of my favorites, you know, back in the day with, of course, Dawn of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead, and all that stuff. But nowadays, I almost try to avoid them because there's so many of them. Next one is called Insanitarium. Came with a slipcover. Nothing really special. It's the same image on the disc, on the case art there. Yeah, I don't really know much about this one. Jesse Metcalf, who was on TV's Desperate Housewives, which I've never watched. I'm not sure who Jesse Metcalf is. Stars in this horrifying thriller about a man who cons his way into a mental hospital in order to break out his beloved sister. Once inside, he discovers that a doctor is mercilessly using his patients as lab rats. That doesn't sound too bad. That would be pretty cool. So I do love movies that have kind of that mental hospital theme to them. I think those are really good. And then on top of that, you have a bloodthirsty doctor who's torturing his patients and performing cruel experiments on them. So this sounds like it has a little bit of promise to it. I'm not expecting it to be anything great, but I'm sure I'll have a little bit of fun with this one. Movie from 2008, Insanitarium. Here is a movie starring Antonio Sabato Jr. called Drifter, Henry Lee Lucas. I'm sure most of you guys know who Henry Lee Lucas is by now. He was a very strange man, and I'm not going to really get into. I'll just say he was a very bad man. You guys can look him up if you've never heard of him. But he was the guy that claimed a huge body count, and anytime the cops would ask him if he did it, he would say yes. And even though he was nowhere near the area for most of these bad things that he did, he would take credit for that. I think he claimed over 500 lives or something like that, which, you know, I think even the detectives after a while, they were, yeah, okay, whatever. But I like to see these type of movies, and I didn't even know this one existed. I've seen all the different documentaries on these guys, and I've seen couple of different Henry Lee Lucas movies, but I've never seen this one, and I'm looking forward to checking it out. It says Henry Lee Lucas, one of America's most notorious bad guys, admitted to committing over 350 murders with partner and fellow bad guy Otis Toole while drifting through the southern states. Movie from 2009. Another one from Family Video, which I don't remember ever going to Family Video and renting movies, but just the fact that they had this Harpoon unrated and they have this bad guy movie at Family Video, it just doesn't seem like it would fit. But hey, what are you going to do? Here's another one. It's about a copycat killer who, you can read the names on there. He tries to recreate some of the bad guy things that those other bad guys did. And it said, tormented by the bad guys who took her mother's life, journalist Laura Nelson investigates the only clue the killer ever leaves behind at his crime scenes, his diary pages. References in the blood-soaked pages to Richard Ramirez, Jeffrey Dahmer, and Ed Gein lead Laura to learn more than she ever wanted to know about the sick mind of these monsters. But the closer she gets to finding the bad guy, the closer he gets to finding her. That actually sounds pretty good. And I have heard of this movie before, but I don't think I've ever seen it. This was from a place called Movie Gallery, which I've never heard of before. And that sounds like a pretty good slasher. I don't know what to expect. I don't expect much when I pop these on, but I do have fun watching them. 2 more for the DVD pile, and we'll get into the VHS. This one looked silly. I just picked it up because it was there. It was in the horror pile. This one's called Gnaw. Fangoria calls it intense and extreme. It's nice to have your friends for dinner. Dark Sky Films. It looks like this may be another tongue-in-cheek, kind of a black comedy movie from 2008. And it looks like this may be a British movie. Let's see. According to the official UK statistics, more than 210,000 missing persons reports are filed every year. Some cases are never solved. Yeah, this may be a British movie. Now, 6 friends head off to a country estate for a weekend bonding, bed hopping, and home-cooked feasts. But their good times go very bad when they encounter a clan of slaughter-happy psychopaths with expert skills in butchery and a ravenous hunger for teen meat pies. You can add your own joke there. What follows is a brutal battle for survival, complete with shocking carnage, killer twists, and graphic reasons to avoid UK cuisine forever. It's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in the English countryside in this grisly debut for director Gregory Mandry that walks a knife's edge between tongue-in-cheek humor and teeth-in-flesh terror, bring a strong stomach and a hearty appetite. British horror is back with vengeance. So I'll be the judge of that. I'll definitely check this out. It sounds cool, and I like British movies, and I like TCM and those kind of movies, so I'll definitely pop that in. I'm sure I'll enjoy it. Look at, there's a guy lost a foot. And the last one, I have this on Blu-ray. And I think I do have this on DVD as well, a different edition of it. And this is a magnet release of Survival of the Dead, George A. Romero. I'm sure most of you guys have seen this one, so I don't have to say too much about it. Another movie from 2008. It has an introduction by George A. Romero, and you get audio commentary with Romero and crew. So that's cool. I think that alone is probably worth $2. Is that another family video? It is. All right, so let's pop into the VHS titles and see what I got. The first one here is the Nightmare on Elm Street VHS box set that has the first 7 movies. So you have the original Nightmare on Elm Street. You have Part 2, Freddy's Revenge. And you have Part 3, Dream Warriors. Part 4, The Dream Master. Part 5, The Dream Child. Part 6 is The Final Nightmare, which was pretty good. And then you have Part 7, which is Wes Craven's New Nightmare. And this was $5 for this, by the way. That's just dry erase marker, so I could just take like a Kleenex and wipe that off. I should have did that. And when you look at all of them, it makes Freddy's image holding out his claw and his hat. And whoever owned this really taped up the box. That's kind of a shame. But other than that, the box is in good condition. There's no holes or rips or tears, anything like that. There's some edge wear, but that's not that big of a deal to me. Actually, I kind of like that. It adds character to the age of the box set. So, very cool to have that. Then I found at the same place, these were all at Value Village. And I don't know if you guys had a chance to watch my last video, the very last video before this one. I had a VHS tape haul as well. And in that video, I talked a little bit about media, the label media that used to put out VHS tapes. And I was telling you guys how that used to be kind of the top dog back in the, say, like early mid 80s. You know, they were really releasing some good stuff. And this box set that I just showed you was, let me see here, pull out a tape. This was put out by New Line. So this is a later pressing or a later release of these media movies. And I'll show you part 2 really quick because that's what I have in front of you. That's a media release of part 2, and this is the New Line release of part 2. And of the two of these, the one on the left is in much better condition, but it's a lot newer too. This was probably released in the late 90s, maybe even early 2001, 2002. Whereas this one here was probably released in 84 or 85. And these were really cheap. They're not that easy to come by. I mean, they're not exactly so rare you can't find them. You can find these on eBay and stuff like that. But it's very hard to find these out in the wild. So when I see them, I grab them. This one has a little bit of, it has kind of some issues, I would call it. They have a sticker that says produced exclusively on JVC tape, which I guess that's not the worst thing that could happen. But this particular guy who had these 3 tapes here, I have part 2, part 3, and part 4, which I'll show you later. He decided, a guy or girl, whoever, decided to write his name in black Sharpie on every movie, these 3 movies here, which is, I don't know why would anybody ever, I can't see a reason why anybody would ever put their name on movies like this. But still, these are very cool. They're very collectible, and these come without a opening, so the entire box is sealed. You have to pull the flaps open. And then I'll slide the tape out and show you guys what I mean. I talked a little bit about these last time, so I'm not going to talk too much more about them, but there is the, oops, sorry about that. There's the tape. Be kind, please rewind. Produced exclusively on JVC tape. And then they also had kind of a cataloging sticker on the spine there. So let me put this tape back. Those are put out by Media, by the way. I'm going to pause it for a moment, put these away, and then we'll look at the next one. So that was part 2, Freddy's Revenge. Here's part 3. It was also put out by Media. And by this time, in Media's game, they did have an opening at the bottom. And this was probably 87. It was 87. So prior to that, they did have the 4 panels on each side. And then you could just take the tape out of the top or the bottom. But this one has a little sticker. It's pretty cool. It says, include the hit music video Dream Warriors by Dokken, as seen on MTV. There's the Media logo once again. You can see the cataloging sticker on the side there. And the guy wrote his name again, which is a shame. And I make little errors like that. I keep them in. I don't care. So whoever Bodine was, he was really worried about losing his Freddy tapes, which is a shame. But I'm going to keep these in my collection until I can find something that's better, that's upgradable. And then I'll probably end up giving these away or selling them, or I don't know what I'll do, trade. I probably won't sell them. I'll probably gift them to somebody once I get better copies of these. And then here is part 4, the Dream Master. And you can see the Media logo. And like I was telling you guys, probably about by this time here, 88, between 87, 88, somewhere around in this time, Anchor Bay started to take over the VHS market with their clamshell. They were really putting out some nice stuff, some very nice high collectible stuff. And I think they kind of took the torch from Media at right around this point right here. And I think Media kind of wasn't putting as much effort into their releases as some of the early stuff. But those are very cool, and I'm glad to have those. And another trilogy I have here, or not another trilogy, but a trilogy, because that's definitely not a trilogy. I have Clyde Barker's Hellraiser on VHS in this really cool box. Now this movie has been released many different times on VHS. This is just one of them. I love that gold border. I think this is really cool. I like at the top they're calling this VHS action horror. I guess that's a good way to categorize that movie. It is a action horror. And I have Hellbound Hellraiser 2. This is like brand new. These are really clean. And I did run out of these plastic sleeves to put over these, so I have to order some more from my buddy Dan. So Dan, if you're watching, I will be placing an order probably tonight. I need some more of these little protective sleeves. Yeah, but these are really, really nice, really good condition. And part 3, Hell on Earth, with the little rental stickers on them. This is the unrated version of it. I'm going to keep checking Value Village for the next few weeks until Christmas season. I have a feeling they're going to keep getting more horror stuff to put out. So I picked up some more Friday the 13th stuff. I got some really cool tapes from Derek from Mrs. B and Me, the channel, which I really, Derek, if you guys are watching, I really miss you guys, and I hope everything's okay. You could have at least, let some of us know, because you kind of left us hanging, and a lot of us are worried about you guys. You just kind of vanished, and I really hope everything's fine. For those of you who are watching, Mrs. B and Me has been one of my longest friends and supporters here on the channel, and one day they just decided to take their channel down, and I don't know why or what's going on. So if anybody knows, well, I suppose it's probably their business. So Derek, if you're watching, let me know what's up, man. But what I was saying is Derek from Mrs. B and Me's channel sent me, we did a trade a few years ago now. He sent me all the Friday the 13th VHS tapes, and I sent him a box set from Arrow Video. I think it may have been the Scarlet box, but I can't remember for sure. But I picked up some of the earlier releases. These are kind of like the earliest pressings of those movies from Paramount. And these were dirt cheap. I couldn't leave them behind, so the tape is in there kind of snug, but it's definitely the right tape. It's in perfect condition. These have been released a few different times too on VHS. And here's part 2. Very, very nice. Another nice clean copy of it. It's in there pretty tight, but there we go. Part 2, 1981. And part 6, Jason Lives. Hey, this is an oldie here. This one was released in 1987 on VHS. Very, very cool. So I'm glad to have those in the collection. And then this little pile here, I kind of consider these the kind of commons, or these are movies that are not very hard to find, and they were released kind of at the tail end of VHS. So these are nothing special, but I wanted to grab them and add them to the collection. Let me pull these over here and we'll take a look. So the first one here is Scream, the original. It says it includes an exclusive behind-the-scenes Scream featurette. These are all in like brand new condition too. For something that's over 20 years old, these are really, really nice. And I got Scream 2. And when I say that these are common and not as special as some of the other ones, that doesn't mean I hate the movies or anything like that. It's just that these were very easily obtainable toward the end of the VHS days, and these were not very expensive, and just about everywhere had these. So these are kind of like common. You can get them at Blockbuster, Kmart, Best Buy. Every place had these titles here. This was Stephen King's Thinner. Stephen King's Pet Sematary. The Lost Boys. They're calling this the Warner Brothers Hits. This movie really exploded. I got Poltergeist. See what I mean? These are not anything that will blow your socks off or anything like that. Here's Jacob's Ladder. Here's the remake of Hoss. Let's try that again. Here is the remake of House on Haunted Hill. Taye Diggs and let me see who else was in there. I can't even read it. Peter Gallagher. Yeah, I can't even read that. It's so kind of blurry. But it is a movie from 1999. Silence of the Lambs, which I just revisited this the other day on Blu-ray, on the Criterion Blu-ray. It's beautiful. I forgot just how great that movie is. And I saw it many, many years ago when it first came out. I saw it at the theater, and I think I might have seen it one time since at home. And but it was many, many years ago. And then I was watching some YouTubers who they revisit the filming locations, and I think it was Sean Malfunction. I think it was him. Horror's Hallowed Grounds, or either that or it was Adam the Woo. I can't remember now who did it. But one of those two guys went back and filmed some of the filming locations, and it piqued my interest again, and I had to pop it in. It was that long ago. A lot of it seemed like it was new to me, even though I had seen it a couple times. I guess that's what happens to memory as we get older, but very good movie. And this was a film from 1991, and it won 5 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. So here's the Bride of Chucky. Chucky Gets Lucky. I know this is probably going to upset some of you guys out there, but I was never really a fan of the Child's Play movies. I think they're okay. They're fun enough, but I just was never really a big fan of Chucky. The first one was pretty good. Here's a teen slasher called I Know What You Did Last Summer. Again, this was another franchise, I guess, because I think they did a couple after this one. I Know What You Did Last Summer. I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer. There may have even been a fourth. I don't remember, but it's not as good as Scream, and I didn't really like Scream that much. But that's what that is. And then here's another one that was not that great, The Bone Collector. And you're probably saying, well, if you don't like these movies and you say they're not that great, why are you buying them? Because they're only 33 cents a piece. So, I mean, why not? Might as well have them in my collection. All right, I think that's going to do it for today. Let me think. Oh, you know what? I do have a vinyl record, but I guess I'll show that next week or next time. I don't know if it'll be next week. But it's nothing special that I need to stop it here and go get it. I'll just show it in the next update video. And so look at Miss Heidi Vhs. Now, you guys probably already know, I told you guys this before, but this dog here, the silver dog, is a Weimaraner. She's a German breed. They're hunting dogs, although I don't hunt. These are just teddy bears. They're my family pets. They're retrievers. And this one here, the little red one, she's a Vizsla, and she's a Hungarian breed. And even though they're bred in different countries, they're related. They're kind of like a cousin, and they're both hunting dogs, although the Weimaraner is more kind of like a lab, more like a black lab type, big sturdy body. Whereas the Vhs are more, they're much thinner and they're quicker. And she's always nesting, this little red one. She always gets her feet in there and she kind of fluffs up a little area and she builds a little nest and she goes and sleeps in it. So I don't know why I told you that. I just thought it was kind of cute because you could see her back there kind of nesting. But oh, where's the squirrel? Hey, where's the squirrel? Where's your cookie? If you get the squirrel, I'll give you a cookie. Say goodbye. See you guys later.